president, but was also the leader of the Union Army. To people in Minnesota, it's not a department store, Grant's. This is different. This is Ulysses S. Grant. So he was given a slave by his father-in-law, and then he freed him because he didn't want to violate his abolitionist principles, because Grant was an abolitionist. He was anti-slavery. He did so at a time he could have sold that human being, which is despicable, for $30,000 in today's money. As you know, Grant was in poverty. At one point, he was reduced to selling firewood to feed his family. And so these are the parts. This is what you don't learn in public schools today. All you learn is racist, racist, racist. White, white, white. That's it. That's it. That's why it pained me to see the George Washington statue be taken down, because if you read George Washington's writings and you read how he evolved as a general, as a leader, as a man, as a husband, as a father, and eventually as a president, his writings are so powerful, but you're not allowed to read them in public school because they're busy showing you Al Gore's movie, An Inconvenient Truth. And I want to wrap up with this, as far as some of the things. And what I'd like to do today, if you can do this would be great. Weigh in if you happen to be in a leftist stronghold. If you're out in Washington or Oregon or New York or Philadelphia, or if you're in Georgia right now, if you're in these strongholds where these protests are escalating to riots and they're escalating to leftist destruction, I would love to hear your perspective, because I can tell you right now, and you know this, mainstream news media is not covering anything. Well, actually, they did a great job of covering empty seats at the Trump rally. Did you see the Trump rally? Did you see the empty seats? I told my wife, we watched it. 1 hour and 41 minutes the president spoke. I thought it was a bit long, Mr. President. I'm just saying, it was a bit long, but I know you had a lot to cover. But as soon as I saw the empty stadium, not the empty stadium, but the seats, I said, they're not going to take photographs of any of these people. They're just going to take empty seats, and then they're going to put it behind Trump, and that's how they're going to market it. And that's exactly what they did. In Wilmington, Delaware, Caesar Rodney was a signer of the Declaration of Independence, in addition to a variety of other things in American history. They also just tore his statue down. He was the High Sheriff of Kent County. He was in the Colonial Assembly. He was a delegate to the Stamp Act Congress. He was a member of the Delaware Committee of Correspondence. He was in the Continental Congress. He was a military leader. He was elected president of the state of Delaware. He was a member of the upper house of the state assembly. And of course, he was one of the 56 signers, but they took his statue down. So we have a lot to cover today, but the one thing we need to know, you and I, we're in the majority. We are in the majority. What you're seeing is a hyperactive coverage of what's getting the media so excited. Things burning, people disliking cops, things breaking, things failing. But this is a wonderful example of the leftist. They've crossed the line, and now they're melting down. I'm Ken Matthews. This is the Rush Limbaugh Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM.
It may be hard to believe, but even the slightest decline in interest rates can have a sizable impact on your mortgage. It means a lower monthly payment because you pay less in interest to borrow money. And it adds up to tens of thousands of dollars in long-term savings. A lower mortgage rate can provide the financial flexibility that your family needs. It just takes a 10-minute call to get started. So what do? You call American Financing. Get a free mortgage review. You'll speak with a salary-based mortgage consultant, so there's no obligation. No pressure, no upfront fees either. Just a simple conversation around ways you can save up to $1,000 a month without resetting your loan term. Because you shouldn't pay interest on years that you don't need. Start saving today. Make the 10-minute call now. 800-795-PROTEST. 800
here with another pain relief testimonial for Relief Factor. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son owners of Relief Factor, keep sending me all kinds of wonderful testimonials from people who are no longer having back, neck, hip, shoulder, foot, or knee pain, just like this one.
I lived for decades in a lot of extreme pain with my lower back and legs. And I heard about Relief Factor on the radio. I tried the 3-week quick start. I'm so grateful to Relief Factor that I've gotten my life back.
As I was getting older, my back pain just got worse and worse. But after taking Relief Factor, my back pain is gone. Truth is, your pain from getting older, exercise, or everyday living doesn't have to keep you from doing the things you love to do. Pete and Seth Talbot created a 3-week quick start and then discounted it to only $19.95. You should give it a try. Let's see if we can get you out of pain.
On the 90s, 2000s, and today.
It's a commercial-free throwback lunch on Hot 96.9. I'm Deirdre DeGotta with
showing up this year, and where have they been in past years?
Newscaster of all time. Try to fit the facts of the day into his head.
When did this happen?
You will listen to him laugh. You will listen to him cry. You will listen to him do this.
We either have to get out of here, or we have to eat someone.
All 3 seasons of the Ron Burgundy podcast are available to binge now. Find the Ron Burgundy podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you're in debt to the IRS, there's good news. Optima Tax Relief can help you resolve your tax debt right from the safety of your own home. Optima's award-winning team works with you online and over the phone, so you don't have to leave the comfort of your home to put your tax problems to rest. Optima's A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau and standing by, ready to help you today. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-748-5713. 800-748-5713.
Optima Tax Relief.
For details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
David Horowitz's new book about President Trump is out. It's called Blitz. In Blitz, Horowitz warns that Antifa wants to stop Trump and crush our freedoms. Blitz predicted that race would be a big issue, but Trump has a secret plan for the election. Mike Huckabee says if everyone reads Blitz, Trump will win. A #1 Amazon bestseller. Get Blitz at bookstores, or get the free offer from Newsmax and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go to blitz411.com. Blitz411.com.
Youth Radio 920 and 104.7 FM.
Thank you, as always, for tuning into the Rush Limbaugh Show. My name is Ken Matthews. Rush is planning to be back tomorrow. And I have to get better at this because I teased, as Rush would tell you, that's radio lingo. I teased what Brett Favre said about Colin Kaepernick. And what I'll do sometimes, there's so much going on, you'll tease something and then you'll forget. And then people will be texting you or emailing you an hour later. So before we get to the phones, which we're going to get to, 800-282-2882, I want to get to Brett Favre saying that Colin Kaepernick, who lost his starting quarterback job to Blaine Gabbert and became a professional activist after NFL teams showed no interest in him. You may remember Colin Kaepernick, the big afro. He should be considered a hero, according to Brett, just like Pat Tillman. Now, for people who don't know Pat Tillman, he's a football player who turned down a multi-million-dollar contract and became an Army Ranger, and then lost his life in the heat of battle. Brett Favre said that Colin Kaepernick is no different. Okay, so now we've established that, unfortunately, Brett, and I used to be a big fan of Brett, but apparently he has also been hit in the head too many times without a helmet. See, when you wear the helmet,